Hello and welcome to the September Facebook chat. I'm your host, Robert Soto, along with, again, your familiar face that you're used to seeing, Tammy Grunart, as your co-host.
Everyone.
And so you're going to see Eric Imlay on the screen, but we'll get to him. But I want to start out, as you saw from my opening comments, it is National Driver Appreciation Week. And so because of that, we're out in the field this week. There's leaders throughout the field hitting the various sites, hitting multiple sites, and trying to work our way to as many locations as we can to recognize and celebrate our drivers. So we want to say thank you, first and foremost, to our drivers out there. Thank you for the work you do every day. As you saw in my opening comments, as I've had conversations with drivers yesterday at the Baltimore Intermodal site, today in Carlisle, and then again tomorrow in Chambersburg. Been talking to a lot of drivers, hearing their great stories, their backgrounds. I always love hearing where our folks come from, what they did before. And just hearing that passion and the pride for the work that you do and how it reflects out there in the public, to our customers, and to us as an enterprise, always seeking to be the best that we can be. So thank you for everything you do. Thank you for what you do every day, day in, day out, and keeping that safe professionalism that makes us us. So as I said, we're in Carlisle. And so we're a few minutes late because we were working through some audio, working through some technical stuff. As I look at our marketing person here, Sarah. But we got it nailed. Again, a few minutes late, so apologize for that. But we're going to start with Eric Imlay. So you may or may not have seen a video, buzz video recently that spoke to the new safety shoe program. And so we're going to try and hit it from different avenues. So we have Eric on. And so we're going to have Eric talk through the program. What's the change? Why is it changing? What's the impact? And we have some great product that you might have seen in the buzz video, lots of different options. And so, Eric, without further ado, I want to thank you for being here. Again, Eric is from the safety training compliance team, works on operational excellence. And so, Eric, take it away.
All right. Well, yeah, thank you, Robert. Good evening. And first and foremost, a big thank you to all of our drivers, not only this week, but through all weeks. Yeah, we're really excited to announce a new footwear partnership with SR Max. And so over the last many months, we've been seeking driver feedback, OSR and instructor feedback, as we look to identify a new vendor. And through all that feedback, through all the miles that we were able to put on our new footwear, we decided that SR Max was the right partner, the right vendor for us to give the drivers the footwear that they wanted, but also need it and kept them safe. And so a lot of the feedback that we got was, hey, we need more women's footwear, for example, not just unisex footwear. And so we're excited that SR Max is able to deliver that for us. And so you'll see through offerings, whether on their website or at our STAs, footwear like this, right? This is a brand new Reebok shoe. It's got a great safety sole on it, and this will be an option available for our female drivers. We'll also have similar things like this in men's options. So again, kind of an athletic shoe that meets a lot of the demand for a lot of our drivers. And then we'll have the more traditional styles, right? So that classic work boot that our drivers have come to expect and like. And then, brand names like Timberland Pro and Reebok and New Balance. Those are all things that will be made available. And we'll kick off those offerings in early October. And so right now we've paused our anniversary boot program as we work through some of those transitions. But on the other side, come October, folks will have a brand new offering of footwear that they can select from, again, through the anniversary program or through those new hires. And so we really appreciate the drivers' feedback through this process. I know it's been fun in a lot of ways. It's been challenging in some other ways. We've put a ton of miles, and we really on those options, but we really think that we've found the right partner for us, and will give drivers the best options that they really have been asking for. So super excited about this. and we'll kick it off in early October.
That's great news, Eric. What are some of the changes? So again, let's reinforce for the drivers that it is from kind of this point forward through October that they're going to see the change.
Yeah, we're still working through, kind of the logistical items that one might expect with SR Max, getting a website created, making sure that we have the right options. Candidly, I think we're going to have several hundred options available for the drivers that they'll be able to pick from. And so it's really just kind of getting all of those pieces in a row and making sure that it's a really value-added experience and an easy one for those drivers that go out and select. And so we've paused kind of the relationship that we currently have and the processes so that we can make a smooth transition. And so come October, drivers will have a custom Schneiderized website through SR Max. It'll be easy to navigate. It will be something that, based upon their line of business, they'll see the options available for them. So it's absolutely custom ordered, tailor made for the drivers. And so they'll be able to get in there early October and begin ordering their footwear if they were put on pause, or as their anniversaries come about, they'll get in there and be able to select the footwear that they want.
Eric, Schneider's a big company. We've got a lot of drivers. SR Max, are they working with some companies that we would recognize that we know that they have the experience of working with a big company like Schneider?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So they currently work with UPS, FedEx Ground, Hilton, Cisco Foods, Penske Racing, just to name a few. So they are certainly familiar with working with big logos, and they're really proud and excited to add Schneider to that mix. And candidly, thus far, they've been great to work with and understand that while we're just a big of a logo, we have a unique need as well. And they understand that, and they're doing everything in their power to meet our needs.
Do they have wider sizes? Are they going to be able to accommodate large sizes? I talked to somebody who needed a size 16. Are they going to be able to accommodate that?
Yeah, great questions. So yeah, not only the larger sizes, like you mentioned, Tammy, but some of those smaller sizes. So their gamut runs to 18 W down to 4. And so where our previous provider kind of struggled in some of those spaces and getting those harder to fit accounts, those boots delivered, SR Max is really well positioned to deliver in that, again, with that wider offering. But then, you think about kind of their model, they partner with the manufacturers. And so they've got that direct relationship, which we'll benefit from. And then they have roughly 30 stores across the United States that will also be able to benefit from and tap into their inventory. And so a lot of things are happening here, very different than what we're used to. But we think, again, all of it is well structured to help our drivers. And so we'll continue to push forward with this partnership, but really excited about it and all the new things that SR Max brings to the table.
And what about those special needs footwear? So some lines of businesses need steel toe, some of them need a composite. Are they able to work with all of those?
They absolutely are. Yeah. So what's great is a number of these things, the boots that I've shown are these shoes, right? So this is a soft toe Reebok, but this comes in a protective toe as well for those dedicated drivers that just need the protective toe, but may not need, like our bulk drivers, the 6-inch leather uppers, right? But of course, SR Max again is well positioned with offerings like this Timberland that gives you the protective toe, the 6-inch lace-up leather upper that is a requirement, and then of course that that slip resistant sole that we know we all require. So yeah, they are again really well positioned to meet all of our needs.
Stuff, Eric. We appreciate you coming on, and to those of you watching, a little weird, a little quirky out here as Eric has beamed in from Wisconsin, and we're here in Carlisle. So again, apologize for any kind of clunkiness, but we wanted to make sure we got that information out to you, and the change and the new variety and availability of those shoes, and when that change takes place. So. Hopefully everybody can still hear me okay.
Well, thank you, Eric, for being here and for taking time away from your anniversary. Happy anniversary to you today. Hope you get to enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you. Appreciate everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye,
Thank
Eric.
you. All right. Again, wanted to get that information out. Important information, new change, and excited about, again, the availability of the variety of those shoes. So, as I said, we're at the Carlisle OC. So, you may hear some activity in the back. That's because we're right next to the cafeteria, the cafe. Lots of drivers coming and going, still trying to get that meal in before they close down here. So, you may hear some stuff in the back. One thing I can guarantee, you won't see anyone in the back dumping trash because they won't be able to get behind here, but you will potentially hear some activity as it relates to the cafe area. But again, we're in your world here in the driver area, driver lounge, and excited to be here. Some energy in the air, some dynamic with all the comings and goings. So pretty excited to see that. So what we're going to do next is, again, we're here to thank and recognize our drivers, and as a result of that intent, we'd like to bring on Patrice Cook, one of our most recent Rider Pride drivers, and so we're going to slide over and introduce Patrice. She's got the truck out here today, and we asked her to join us. Just wanted to introduce her again as the Rider Pride driver. She's not been doing it very long. How long has it been now, Patrice?
Since May.
Since May. And so relatively new,
Yes,
but you've been able to do some activities thus far. So
Yes, sir.
Patrice is a 24-year Army veteran, 88 Mike.
Thank you.
Yeah, 88 Mike for most of it. And then has been with us for going on 5 years, almost 5 years. So, Patrice, for you, what's kind of been the most exciting event for you thus far? What is kind of made you smile?
They all have, Mr. Robert. Everything that all the events that I've done so far have been great. I've got to do a parade. I've got to do a fair, and I just on Saturday got to do my first charity bike ride, which was definitely interesting, but it was a lot of fun. All of them have been great. People are very receptive to the truck, and they just love seeing it. They'll come up and touch it and stand by it, just stand there, but that's okay. That's what it's for, and they've all been great so far. So.
Yeah, I recently saw pictures of you kind of making your way during that charity event in Wisconsin.
Yes, sir.
So there was bars involved, no alcohol,
Yep.
but bars involved, which I think goes hand in hand with Wisconsin, if I can say that without getting arrows shot at me. But it seemed like a fun event. I know you did the Brown County Fair as well.
Yes, sir.
So how did that go?
The Brown County Fair was super fun. I got to meet so many veterans and so many people in general, families. Even Schneider employees came out to see the truck, so that was a great event. The ride that I just did on Saturday, that was Ride for Vets, and the proceeds from that ride will go to the Old Glory Honor Flight, which I get to be a part of this year. So I'm super excited for that. I get to be an escort this year.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun, and we did go to 4 different bars. It was hard. The videos, I'm sure, were crazy. But they fed me. the whole time. So that was a good thing for me.
And Army travels on its stomach.
Exactly. So like they fed me at every stop, and then I stood by the truck when they came out to take pictures and ask questions about the truck. So it was a lot of fun.
That's wonderful. I saw the truck for the first time for real, right? Last week, and it's a beautiful truck. And Jeff was out there too, another beautiful truck. But seeing those two together was pretty amazing. I know you had a fun-filled week last week with
Yes, sir.
Sarah and marketing and others. Probably getting more photos and videos than you could shake a stick at. And probably your cheeks probably hurt at the end of that. But it was great to see you there and finally meet you.
Yes, sir.
And then find out that as we're coming here to Carlisle, that this is your home OC,
Yes, sir.
and that you would be here this week. So it's great to be able to spend a little more time with you.
Yes, sir.
Is there one event that you're really looking forward to as it relates to the Rider Pride activity? And
I'm looking for them all, but the biggest one I would say would be the Race Across America.
Sure.
I've been informed that I will be doing the convoy going to Arlington National Cemetery. So I've started buying boxes of tissues and
Yes.
everything already. So that is going to be amazing, and I'm so ready and looking forward to that.
Good.
Race Across America is going to be one of the biggest ones that I've done to date.
no, that's amazing.
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
a great event, and I'm sure lots and lots of pride. And as you said, I'm sure some tears come with that. And
Yes, sir.
I was recently given a photo of Wreath Across America from a few years back from my office, which I need to put up. But very touching and worthy event there for sure.
Yes, sir.
So
Now, every one of the trucks have a name.
Yes.
What is the name of your tractor?
My truck's name is Fidelity.
Fidelity.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Tom Lear, who drove the truck before I did, he was Marine. So Semper Fidelis was a Marine thing. So he named it Fidelity, and to honor him, I kept the name Fidelity.
very nice. I'm sure Janet's very
Yes,
touched to hear that.
Janet, she checks up on me. She's been such a great help and words of wisdom and encouragement throughout this whole thing.
Well, we can't thank you enough for representing Schneider and for representing our military. So thank you for all you do out there and for being such a great role model for others.
Yes,
as
ma'am.
well.
Thank you very much, Patrice. Just wanted to get you on camera a little bit there. You're gonna have to get used to it anyway, but
Yes, sir.
thought we'd take the opportunity to say hello to you and introduce you for those that maybe didn't know yet. But thank you very much, and we appreciate what you do.
You're welcome.
We thank you for the work you do, not only Rider Pride, but again, it's National Driver Appreciation Week, so we want to say thank you for sure.
You're welcome. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Patrice. So we're gonna start with some questions, and then we'll look to see to hopefully bring some more drivers up. But we'll start with some questions and see what we got started there. Should have a good head start as we're well into the time frame now.
So we've got a couple of hellos. Hello from Green Bay from Jackie Mikolajczyk. And then a question is, how can you transition into the office?
Is that from Jackie as well?
No, that's from another individual,
Okay.
another driver.
So Jackie, thank you for joining us. Again, a name we see often on the Facebook chat, so appreciate you joining. As far as transition into the office, we had a similar question last week as a driver was looking to come in-house as a planner. And so the first step would be talking to your DTL. There's always opportunity, whether it be from a DTL standpoint, from a safety training standpoint, a planner standpoint. I, for one, have grown up here at Schneider and seen many drivers that have transitioned in-house. Love seeing it. They bring a different dynamic, obviously a different experience, and a different optic that they look to as they interact with their drivers from the DTL seat versus the driver's seat. So first step would be to talk to your DTL, discuss what you're looking for, discuss your skill set, discuss what the qualifications are for maybe a role that is open, and then we can help you to transition and get there. I am always open to discussing those, answering questions specific to that kind of that work. I love talking to our associates. I love finding ways to transition people in. So I'm absolutely available in that regard. And so you can certainly reach out to me by phone, by email, anytime, sotowar@schneider.com or 213-219-2561. I enjoy that conversation because I feel like I'm helping you to make it to your next goal, which means you're probably content, happy, engaged, and that means we get to keep you longer.
Yep.
And so if I can help in that regard, please reach out to me. But I would start with the detail, figure out what's open, figure out what you're looking for, and then start talking about qualifications and how we get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for the question.
Barney Johnson is asking a question that we've heard a lot about the last few days. How is Schneider preparing for the possibility of the rail strike? If the strike happens, will intermodal drivers be utilized in other areas so that have freight to move so that they'll keep moving and continue to earn a paycheck?
Good question, Barney. Thank you for joining us. We are obviously watching that closely. We are our rail team is connected to all the various rail providers, having those conversations on a daily basis. As an extended team, there is a large group involved with intermodal and support that is meeting on a daily basis, again, to make sure we're staying up to speed. What we're doing is we're identifying work that can be done that is not impacted by an interruption. And what is that work? Where is it at? How much work is there? Working through what that process looks like and how long that will keep us busy. And then obviously, I'll use COVID as an example. Through COVID, we had some accounts that were impacted, some accounts that were not. And just like we did in COVID, we will look to say where and who can we shift to various work to always service the customer and balance that with making sure our associates are actively working, engaged, making that revenue for themselves, servicing our customer, keeping our business running and sustained, because that's what we're here for. So good question, Barney. We are staying close to it. Like I said, we are having sessions every day, and it's evolving, it's changing. We will continue to watch it, and we will make we'll pivot as we need to pivot based on what we see coming.
Yeah. Robert Larrabee is tuning in. He says hello from Pilot in Sydney, Rotterdam, Schenectady, New York, depending on how the computer interprets the zip code for this area. So good evening, Robert. We're really close. I feel like we're really close. I don't know how far away we are, but it feels close up here in the north, in the northeast.
About 6 hours.
That's
6 hours.
Hey,
So
Bob,
it's
you're 6 hours away, so we probably won't see it. But
Yeah.
one of these days, we're going to meet Bob.
we will connect one of these
And
days.
appreciate you being on.
Haven't seen any announcements on the driver ambassador program. What's going on with the driver ambassador program?
So that we have a group that we have communicated with. We're still working through. I think it's 3. It's been a busy week, so don't quote me on that. But we have 3 or 4 that we're finalizing through next week, and then the folks that have been successful in communicated with. The folks that have not have also been communicated with. We thank everyone for applying. We had such great candidates, very competitive candidates, and unfortunately we had to make decisions, hard decisions. In some cases, folks were in the same operating center,
Right.
same account, in some cases, same DTL, and so we really had to make hard decisions on who was going to be successful and bring on and who wasn't. But we're almost through that process. We'll be done by the end of next week in terms of the last interviews and discussions, and then shortly thereafter, that smaller group that remains will be communicated with, and then you'll see other information coming out from there. But appreciate the question. Again, thank you all for that applied. Hard choices. Some great names out there that we saw, and unfortunately, we had to say no to some.
Yeah. I think next Facebook chat, we will have more concrete information for you and be able to share a little bit more. Colleen Riley, who was here yesterday and left before we got here, I'm very disappointed we didn't get to connect. She was here all day yesterday, and we were in, as Robert said, in Baltimore yesterday, but has a question. If we signal to change lanes to the right lane, and there is any vehicle in that next lane, and often the next lane to that, a very loud warning sounds. The only way to avoid the loud sound is to make sure there are no vehicles on my right. Especially team driving, I don't want this siren happening. How does Schneider reconcile take 10 and this distracting buzzer that makes me avoid telling others my plan.
Is that Colleen?
Yes.
Colleen, thank you for the question. So I had a driver mention that today as well. And so if I understand the question, it sounds like it's the same thing I heard from a driver here. It's not the lane you're going to take, it's the lane next to it, and it's reading that. So I know the recommendation was to go back to, we can, from a calibration and adjustment standpoint, like any technology, again, I see,
It's called lane keep assist,
right,
is what that's called. And they're working on adjusting the volume
Okay.
specifically for team trucks so that you don't wake up your team partner or your team partner doesn't hear that loud warning and wake up when they're trying to get some sleep.
okay.
I'm glad you asked the question because sometimes we don't know that that's the situation until we hear feedback. So Colleen, thank you for that feedback. If you turn on your signal when the lane to the right is occupied, it will also beep. So if there's traffic or a car in that lane and you turn your directional light on, it's gonna sense that there's something there and it's gonna beep. But if it's clear, you have a better likelihood of it not beeping and not making that noise.
So
Side guard assist is what it's
right,
called.
yeah. I know it's the newer technology that we placed on the trucks. Again, I had heard from a driver today that it was reading too far into the next lane, but it sounds like this is more of a noise thing because of the team versus needing adjustment in terms of sensitivity.
From the front bumper to the
Okay.
trailer tandems is where that is.
So we have our safety folks. So Walter is here from Carlisle and in the wings, if you will, and we also have our director of safety in Green Bay, Andrella. So we keep them on hand. We pay them a small fee to join us, and because again, we want to be able to respond to some of these more technical questions and get you that information right away. So if we're looking to the left and the right, it's probably because we're phoning a friend. For those of you that might be familiar with whatever that game show was way back when. Who wants to be a millionaire? See, we got some help from one of our drivers that's sitting here as well. So
Ask the audience.
we're going to phone a friend or ask the audience. So thank you, Walter. Thank you, Dan.
Jeremy Stallhood would like to know how he can get a 2023 truck and be safe out there, and thanks for what you guys do at the home store.
A 2023 truck, I think a lot of drivers have that question. Trucks are, again, we get questions from from newer drivers as well as drivers that have been here for years and years, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and everyone thinks the other drivers have the kind of the secret to getting the new trucks. We don't really have a method in terms of assignment. It really comes down to what's available, what's the need, and what are you driving now? Does it need to be turned in? Does it need to be worked? All those kind of things. So there's not a magic answer to how to get a new truck. In some cases, if you're lucky, you get your new driver, you get a new truck. In some cases, you've been here 20 years, you get a new truck. There's no kind of method to the madness. It really comes down to availability, need. Sometimes it has to do with account specifics, those kind of things, region specific. Just variations in terms of how and when we assign those trucks. So I wish I had a better answer for you, but that's the answer I got.
All right. Bob Hammery says hi from a rest stop somewhere in New York along
Bob.
I-84.
Thanks for joining us.
Ken Colburn says hello from Frankfort, New York, watching out for skunks and bears at the stores. There's some couple of comments. I'm trying to read through a couple of comments about the strike. Marcus Ammon, who was here earlier today, is telling me that his windshield is dirty again. So I'm sorry, Marcus, I'm not going to be able to help you clean your windshield from here. But come back and I'll give it a whirl again.
Yeah, we got to meet Marcus Ammon. He's a regular here as well, and he's known for asking when the Carlisle OC will get a truck wash. Not this month, but was a pleasure to meet you, Marcus. Again, love hearing your story. For those of you that may know Marcus or may not, if you look for Pennywise in the passenger seat, Marcus has Pennywise sitting in the passenger seat as we get closer to Halloween. So, Marcus, again, pleasure to meet you. And Marcus was again sharing his story about why he stays here, and that Schneider family, that Schneider culture, the people here, which I wholeheartedly agree with. And so it was just nice to touch base and meet Marcus in person. Got to meet David from ICL, who's also a regular here. He just took off as we spent about 40 minutes chatting. But again, it's been a great experience being here and getting to see some of those names that are common on Facebook but hadn't met before.
Lanita Flowers says, good evening. I work in the bulk division. Due to so many employees leaving due to the pay in bulk, how soon will the pay for bulk be reevaluated before there is more work than drivers due to the new pay for the bulk division?
So appreciate your question. We look at our pay across the board, whether it's bulk, whether it's PTL, whether it's intermodal, and we are always looking at making sure we are where we want to be in the market as it relates to pay. And again, it varies geographically, it varies by work, it varies by account. So I don't know. You clearly have a concern as far as folks leaving. I've not heard that. I know we're early in this process. And the thing we're doing is we're actively out there, regardless of what division you're in. We're listening to what concerns people have, whether it's an account you're on, whether it's a division you're in. And we're looking at what's the impact. What was the intended impact, and where do we want to be market? Obviously, we recognize the importance of pay in attracting and retaining good drivers. And again, we study and look at and do research, market to market driver pay. We look to be at a certain level in terms of competitiveness. And if we find we're not there, then obviously we make adjustments. So certainly we'll take that feedback and share with those involved. But again, we review pay all the time. I know that because I'm on a pay meeting weekly, and we're constantly talking about it. So I will take your feedback, obviously share that with the bulk division, and appreciate you being on tonight.
Anthony Canlis asked if he could apply to be a forklift driver. And so I've got some information. Okay. Our primary, kind of our largest, is drivers, but we do have warehouses throughout the United States, specifically in these locations: Port Reading, New Jersey, Savannah, Georgia, Grapevine, Texas, Fontana, California, and Tacoma, Washington, where we would have forklift drivers. So if you're specifically interested in working for Schneider and being a forklift driver, those are the locations that you could potentially apply to if you're in those areas that might meet that need. Throughout the rest of the country, there are no opportunities for forklift drivers that I'm aware of. Robert, correct me if I'm wrong on that.
I'm not aware of any others either. Depending on where you are, obviously going online to SchneiderJobs.com, looking for what's available out there, hopefully somewhere near you or potentially somewhere where you'd like to relocate. Good question, appreciate it. SchneiderJobs.com is the best place to find those opportunities.
Nisha May, hello. Why are your team drivers splitting both cent per mile and mileage? Team drivers should split one or the other, not both, right? If it's not right, are you looking to change that in the near future?
So again, we are our pay design, the next gen pay design is taking place as we speak. I'm not familiar with the team's pay, so I am not going to be able to answer your question. We will take that and share that with, again, the team's group, the team's leadership, and we can get back to you with information and have someone connect with you. But I don't know that level of specificity for teams. Again, I go back to what I said earlier as far as competitiveness. We realize we have to be competitive. We realize we have to pair a good wage in order to attract and retain good drivers. That is our intent every day, all the time. So I can get that feedback to the teams group, and we can have someone connect with you relative to your questions and concerns. But appreciate that. Thank you.
Christopher Ugley, the hourly pay still hasn't been talked about here with us in Maine. Last I heard, it was being worked on.
Yeah, so you may have, if you didn't watch last month, John Bozick was on, and we were talking about, I assume it's van truckload or van dedicated.
It's a dedicated account.
And so we are going from west to east, and still working our way to where you are in the far northeast. And so again, we are looking at that. We are evaluating our next gen pay design and what those numbers are and what they will mean. And so you'll be hearing about it soon. I mean, we're already in September, so there's not a lot of the year left. So you'll be hearing about it soon. I couldn't give you a date. I will note you and your account and have someone contact you with the specific time frame that you will be hearing. But I've been hearing from various drivers. Again, we're always sharing that information with the lines of business and the pay leads from various accounts, whether it's Target, whether it's Joanne, and again, I'm saying, but anyway, from the various accounts, and sharing that information because each account's different, specificity of work's different, region's different, and sharing that information with the pay leads. So we will note that. Our Vicky is in
Yep.
she's got it.
Yep.
We'll note your name, your account, and we'll have someone contact you with the time frame that you will be getting that information.
Tarek Keegan says I'm sorry if I butchered your name, Tarek, but we have 0 chassis available in the rail in North Baltimore, Ohio. We have hundreds of containers sitting on the ground at the rail, and we can't move.
Yep, heard that yesterday. I know that we're stacking equipment to be able to move loads and mount and move loads. We are receiving more chassis. Again, Rick Berg was on, joined us last chat and shared that those are coming in starting now, September.
What did you say, over 1,000 of them, right?
I believe so, 1,000, if not more than that. And so those are coming in now as we speak. We recognize that we have to get that out and get that fluidity. But again, we're taking those short-term actions of stacking to be able to free things up and get things moving. We understand it's a concern. We're aware of the concern and we're working it. Again, I can understand from your position, probably not quick enough, but definitely something we're focused on and working on.
Just another call out for that North Baltimore location. That location specifically is what they call a grounded operation. I'm getting this from Dan Drella, so I might sound like I know what I'm talking about, but thank you, Dan Drella, for being here with us. The containers there are stacked until they're needed, and then they're mounted on a chassis. So that's going to account for some of the stacking of those chassis that you're seeing in that North Baltimore location. But on the delivery, we are expecting 1,000 chassis that have been ordered this year. They've been delayed a little bit, but they're starting to come in. So we're getting there. So we really appreciate your patience on that.
And we are having drivers, again, you may be aware, you're probably aware, we have drivers going to other markets, grabbing, I believe it's a stack of 4, and bringing them, back to the markets that need them, to include North Baltimore. So again, short-term fixes, we're looking at it, we're focused on it, new ones coming in. But again, I understand probably not as quick as you'd like to see, but we're working. Thank you for the question.
Amanda Powell, in 35 Eastern Regional Home Weekly, live in Alabama, been being told freight is soft the last couple of weeks in the South. What's the cause of this, and when is it expected to pick back up?
So I didn't get if it's van or van dedicated.
I think it's regional.
Regional, okay. Again, I don't have a level of specificity specific to that region. We will note your name and driver number, and we will connect with you regarding the forecast, the outlook. I couldn't tell you offhand what it looks like, the markets in the South.
Okay. Kim Mueller has a new truck. Thank you, Schneider, so much and hope everyone gets one. She's very excited about that. The safety features have helped her a lot, so she's really appreciative of that. Schneider thought of everything. It doesn't have a bunk heater. It's shipped out without one.
Right.
You know when they might be in. She's in Canada every week, and it will idle 65 and under, just love that. But any update on when that bunk heater is gonna be in?
So again, the last, it's been a couple months now, but Jake, our VP of Equipment and Engineering, has spoken to the fact that trucks have come out missing certain parts. They weren't necessary, obviously, to get them out and get them moving, but we have a plan to get those parts in, get them installed. We will note your truck number and your name and truck number. I will work with Jake and his team to find out what the time frame is, what we anticipate the time frame is, and be able to give you that information. I know it's getting a little cold, unless you're in California, so we want to make sure we're able to get that installed and ready for you as the weather starts to change. So
yeah, the first 405 have work requests already to update them. It's a parts shortage issue,
right,
which we're really trying to work through. And our maintenance folks are looking at other options to complete other trucks. They have adjusted the idle temp to allow drivers
right,
to idle. Gosh, we don't want you to freeze in
right,
the truck, so we want to make sure that you are comfortable as you're driving.
right, and that's why the adjustment was made to ensure you have an option until that piece is in place. So thank you for the question. We'll note that, and we will get back to you with that information, time frame, what we anticipate. And again, it's fluid because of supply chain issues. I know I've talked to different drivers. Levi Cody Allen in Arizona had an issue, and we really had a window of time when we anticipated that piece coming in, just because, again, supply chain impact on parts, and when we get them is more of a window than a date. So
Hillary Bell has a question. Hillary is an instructor in Wilmer and gets the question from students on why can team drivers have pets in the truck and not solo drivers?
So we get this one a lot, and we understand why. Again, as I talk to drivers, it seems like at least every day someone's talking about dogs. I have 2 dogs, as I said.
You too.
But with teams, for us, it's a safety consideration.
Yes.
With teams, you got 2 people, so someone can always maintain control of the animal. Again, we are Schneider, and we are safe, and we pride ourselves on that. And so we have taken the stance, again, much to some of our drivers' displeasure, that no pets for solos. I don't anticipate that changing anytime soon, as far as what I've heard. So that's our policy, no pets for solos. And again, not the answer folks want to hear, but that's the approach we've taken because of safety.
So as I was talking with Marcus earlier today, he had a question about our passenger policy.
Yes.
Our passenger policy, I believe, is set at 10 years old. And he is asking, would we ever consider lowering that down to 6 or 7? A lot of other companies have that age set at 6 or 7. So have we ever thought about lowering that a little bit to allow dads and moms to bring their children along for a little while or a day or whatever that might be as they're driving?
Yeah, and again, we're thinking about safety, right? The safety of your passenger, in this case, a son. We believe 10's the right age. Being able to mature enough and physical enough to be able to, get in and out in a safe manner at all times. So at the moment, I'm not aware of any discussion to lower it. We do share all these questions and information with our various teams, in this case, safety. And again, I've noted that we have 2 of our safety resources available, and they're hearing it. We will note that, but at the moment, that remains 10 years old.
And it actually is 18 years old for bulk and intermodal drivers. So it's even a higher age limit for our bulk and intermodal division versus our van truckload division.
I wasn't aware it was 18. Maybe that moved on me at some point, but yeah.
Yeah, and again, it's, the safety piece. Got a question earlier about the giveaways for driver appreciation. So drivers can go out and use their QR code, or they can go out to Compass and register for just a wide variety of different jackets, shirts, t-shirts, ponies, all of those types of things. When are we going to be drawing for those, and how are drivers going to find out if they win?
So I'm going to defer to Vicky, because Vicky is all things recognition and points and prizes and all that kind of thing. I don't know the time frame. I do see that it's registered between September 12th and 16th. Well, actually, winners will be notified in the week of September 19th. So we will be notifying next week as folks win. But lots of prizes out there, QR code. Put in your name for what you're interested in. Again, just another way that we're trying to recognize and thank our drivers. Various prizes, various store prizes out there.
Yep.
So please register, and that notification comes next week.
Yep. So Monday we'll be kind of doing that drawing and the notification, and then on Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on how the day works out, we'll post those winner names out on Compass and let you know who won.
Perfect.
Will we be retrofitting Mirror Eye? If so, when? I know we've got some trucks in that pilot with that Mirror Eye, right? I don't know how many we have.
We're still working our way to the 200.
Okay.
And again, it's in 3 different kind of channels, and that's purposeful for maintenance and service needs. But I don't know that we're at the 200 yet, so we're a bit early to talk about retrofits as it relates to the pilot. The feedback we continue to get, unless it's changed, has been very positive. But we're not, we haven't completed the pilot yet, so no retrofitting discussion at the moment.
Dan's 4-minute answer. About 100 mirror eyes have been installed so far.
So 100 of the
Okay.
200 intended is done.
And then they're going to do a 6-month study. Let's see. A 6-month study on that, and then they're going to make a decision. I think that is really par for the course on a lot of new technology that we explore as an organization. We'll do a pilot, we'll look at it, we'll evaluate it, and then we'll see if it makes sense to continue or maybe not, right? We don't want to jump into a lot of changes. We've got a lot of equipment, a lot of technology, and we want to make sure we're making the best choice for our drivers, for Schneider, for our customers, and sometimes that can take a while to evaluate.
Absolutely.
We were passing out stylus, the stylus for the tablets. We give them out. Drivers want to know how they can get more. They're small, you lose them, you misplace them, but they're really handy when you start working on the tablet, especially if you've got fat fingers and you're hitting multiple letters at one time.
So if you want to kind of submit your name, we can take that down, and then again, Vicky is all things kind of recognition and what are they called? Tchotchkes? And we can definitely get those out if you're interested in those. Get them out to your OC, out to you directly. But if you want to share your name, we can certainly do that. I don't know if we can say hello to Dan here real quick and introduce him.
Would you like to hop on up for a minute, Dan?
What do you think? Just say hello real quick.
We've got an 8-week driver.
9 week.
Here. 9-week driver. Boy, we're shorting everybody today, right?
And I'm going to butcher your last name. Camry, Dan?
Camry.
Camry. I was going to say Camry, but you're not a Toyota car, so you can shoot Camry.
Just
come on
say
and say
anything
hello.
wild, right? Yeah.
So Dan is a
Watch the cord
9
here.
week driver, and I've talked to him a few times today and got some good feedback as it relates to routes and different things. But again, just want to call out a newer driver that's joined us. Been driving for a long time, but just joined us recently, and has had a good experience here with the great people that sit in the room behind us. And so 9 weeks with us, and what a
I have 30 years
30 years
experience.
driving.
Experience. I had a 5-year break due to a personal family issue. And I got in contact with a recruiter with Schneider.
After a lot of research, you said, right? You were getting pop-ups
I,
and messages from a lot of different companies.
On Facebook.
Yep.
And I replied to 5 or 6,
Okay,
and they told me I had been off the road too long. And I explained to them that it was like riding a bicycle, that you never forget how to drive a truck. And the last company I contacted, no names mentioned, told me to get in touch with Schneider.
good recommendation.
Thank you to her.
We're glad that she did.
She lost me. Schneider gained me.
And we
Good
got
for
you.
us.
Schneider put their faith in me, and I've been happy ever since.
Good.
I don't know how many major companies like Schneider that I was able to meet VP John Bozak
Yeah, he was here yesterday visiting.
yesterday.
Molly?
I met, I didn't actually talk to Molly.
Oh, okay, I thought you meant her.
No,
She waved
she
at her
was,
across
she
the-
was busy. She was busy. I met Robert today, Tammy, Sarah, Walter, Patrice
Good with names.
today. I have thoroughly enjoyed my first 9 weeks with Schneider. I think, can I mention names? Is that okay?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't want this to sound corny, but I think the world of Sid,
Oh,
Sid Guest.
absolutely wonderful.
Irene,
Yep.
Mike Banning, Adrian, my DLT, or DTL,
DTL.
whichever. I knew I was gonna mess something up.
Yeah.
That's okay.
As mentioned, Patrice is here with the military patriotic truck. I love that truck, Patrice.
Yeah.
My Lord.
Well, thank you
I
for
want to
choosing
thank
Schneider.
everybody at Schneider.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank Schneider
Well,
too.
we want to thank you, and that's what we're out
Because
for.
the
Yeah.
5-year break I took was not easy.
Yeah.
And everybody has made it easy for me.
Well,
And I
great.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. We love hearing your story and having you join us, and we're happy that you had a good 9 weeks here. We look forward to 9 years.
I
here.
got a-
Yeah, 9 years, right?
I have a 5-year plan.
Okay, 5 years here
Awesome.
then.
I have a
We'll take
5-year plan because of my age.
Okay.
We'll take it.
But I have a 5-year plan.
All right.
And I'll take it from there.
There we go.
Maybe I'll take over Walter's
There you
job.
go.
in
Oh,
5
there we
years.
go. That would be awesome. Oh, thank you, Dan.
for joining us.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
Put you on the spot and we brought you up here. Thank you.
All right. Again, just wanted to highlight another driver, one with a little less time with us, but nonetheless, great story to tell.
Misha May, getting back to the question, says, does Schneider have a plan to change the no weapons policy?
The short answer is no. There's no discussion on that. I understand the question, appreciate the question. Obviously, watch the news and lots of concerning stuff out there, but at the moment, we do not plan to change the weapons policy. So at the moment, no is the answer, and again, as things evolve, we evolve, but no is the answer.
We've got some comments on here asking for the flashlights, the tactical flashlights. So those flashlights have been sent out to all the operating centers and all the leaders out there. So your driver leader should have a supply of flashlights for every one of their drivers. So I would reach out to your driver leader, and your driver leader has those flashlights. At some of our dedicated sites, it's harder for leaders, especially if they've got multiple dedicated sites that they're accountable for. It might take a little while for them to get that flashlight to you.
Yeah.
But if you're not seeing one and not getting one, for sure, please ask. We ordered enough for everybody and want to provide you with that flashlight as a token of our appreciation for all that you
And
do.
we've seen operations do different things, from mailing them to having drivers that are running through a location grab them for their peers at various locations. But they're out there. We sent them out early enough for to make sure they're available and on site. If you don't get one, you can certainly contact us and we can work to get you one.
Yeah.
But definitely reach out to ops, your DTL, your OM, and if they can't help you for whatever reason, let us know and we can work to get you one. Thank you for the question.
Yeah, we're coming up at the end of the hour. We have about 3 minutes left.
Okay, that went fast.
It went by really, really fast. So I want to just say thank you to Dan and Patrice for being here, for Dandrella to be supporting us online, and Walter to be in the room. And I just want to say thank you to all of our drivers. The work you do is incredibly hard. It's incredibly important. And we appreciate what you do each and every day that you are out there. Love what you do, love you, and wish we could come to every location to personally say thank you, to meet you and talk to you. It's been a blast so far this week. I wish I could do this every single week. Can I? No. I'll take that. He's ignoring that question, so I'll take that as a no. But I would love to be able to do that. But a sincere thank you,
Yes.
and our appreciation for you choosing Schneider. We're blessed to have you here with us.
Yeah, I can't echo enough Tammy's words. And again, it's a challenging role you have. Sometimes transportation is challenging in general, but again, I've been here for a while, and I can tell you it's not always fun. But I tell you what keeps me coming back every single time is our people.
Yeah.
And so thank you for the work you do. Again, it's challenging work. I know I wouldn't do it. I can't do it. And so I really appreciate the work that you do every day, being out there, the challenges you face, the impact you have on us as an enterprise and our customers and the motoring public, the general public out there as well. So thank you for the work you do. Do we have any last questions out there?
No, we're good.
Okay, so we appreciate you. It was a great day today out here, meeting and talking to a bunch of drivers. We have one more day of fun tomorrow, and then we make our way back to corporate. But thank you for all you do. Appreciate the questions. Appreciate the focus. And be safe out there. We'll see you next month.